This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, Indy Car, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO, how's everybody doing out there? WFO Radio is back on the air. That's right, kicking off another week, but not the first show of the week on this given week. Talked to Alan Reinhart a little bit earlier in the day. I'm sure you'll find that in the feed. If you love if you believe in order in your life and you're used to kicking it off with ignition and then all of a sudden you're out of the routine, hey, I'm sorry. Reinhart's out of the routine and so am I. He's traveling tomorrow, and so we got it done today, and today being Monday, and that's that. But there will be content for the remainder of the week. Don't worry. We're going to do a little factory stock podcast in the normal Reinhart time tomorrow. Bill Skillman will air. Did a short interview with Bill. And then on Wednesday, 12 noon, Matt Hagan going to be on the show. And that is going to be great. But this one, we're going to be kicking it. A little Daniel Suarez. Can talk a little bit about that. I think that's a great story. Super positive. NASCAR Cup Series over there at Sonoma. Dodge Save Mart. Dodge. So silly of me. At least I caught it, right? Toyota Save Mart 350 out there. It was Toyota all over the place. Where do I get that? Every once in a while, you just say the wrong thing. But it was a fun race. It was interesting, like the road courses. They're definitely the new Bristol. But also Indy Car and Formula One on Sunday. It was great. I'm headed to an NHRA drag race in each of the next 2 weeks, going to Thunder Valley and Bristol, and then to Norwalk, America's racetrack, Summit Motorsports Park. So it's busy, but never too busy for WFO Ignition. Now, we're going to bring on Giovanni in Miami. We're going to bring on the Patreons. But I got to tell you about the people who make it possible for me to go WFO, like FTI Performance Racing Transmissions and Torque Converters. Paul Lee is back in Bristol. Paul Lee is back in Norwalk, and I'm super excited. But really, this is for the .90 racers, the big money bracket racers, the aspiring weekend warriors that are building a car and thinking, like, what do I need? What do I just cut to the good stuff? Start off with the good stuff instead of an evolution that so many racers go on and like, oh, I got this because I thought it was good enough. And it turned out to not really be exactly what I wanted. And so I had to sell it and get the good stuff. Like a lot of people do that move. Don't do it. Just go to FTIperformance.com and get what they got for your situation. And you'll have the same good stuff that $1 million bracket race winners do. Simple as that. FTIperformance.com. Total Seal piston rings. The same is true. What is that? Don't throw good money after bad or all that. I don't know the sayings. But get it done right the first time. So if you're building an engine, get Total Seal piston rings. It's as simple as that. And something that I don't think people realize is that if you get pistons that come with rings and you're thinking to yourself, oh man, I really wish I had Total Seal rings, but my pistons came with rings and, I don't want to throw away a set of rings. You can send your rings to Total Seal to have them do their deal. So think about that, totalseal.com. Phillips Connect for the over-the-road transportation industry, trucks, trailers. Race Guitar posting that he picked up a load that had Phillips Connect sensors all over it, connectors. I thought that was really cool. Thank you for doing that, Race Guitar. Phillips-Connect.com. We'll see if Justin Ashley can keep his momentum going. And then, of course, VPRacingFuels.com. I was just going back and looking at all the shows that VP has been sponsored on. And it was super exciting to see the little bit of ARC and all the different shows and personalities they've been involved with, whether it be their first hit, C12, their first hit, to their fuel additives, to their lubricants. VP Racing Fuel is an industry leader, and they're on board with WFO Radio. Go to their website. If you haven't gone to their website, go to their website and sign up, vpracingfuels.com. Thank you. Later on in the show, we'll tell you about samtech.edu and Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School. and the new Marvin Rodak coffee that I got. Oh my gosh, it's so great. RodaksCoffeeandGrills.com. Right now, let's bring on Giovanni in Miami. Giovanni, welcome. Co-host to the show sometimes. How are you, Gio?
All right.
Well, all right. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one. I'm super excited. I got a million things that I want to talk about. And, we're not going to go too long. I haven't been putting the show up on the YouTube. We got to get under 2 hours. That's it. But I think the right time is about an hour and 15 minutes. And so we're going to try for that. I'm going to bring on the Patreons a little bit early. We're going to go. I think people like
75 minutes, huh? I think that's a good runtime, actually. That's a very good lead there. But did you say I co-host a show sometimes?
Sometimes you co-host the show.
I feel like if I co-host a show all the time, I think I guest host the show sometimes would be.
Your sidekick? I don't know. Like sidekick?
I don't know. I'm here all the time, but sometimes I fly the ship.
You have. And actually, I went back and I was listening to some of those Ignition shows where you were flying the ship. And I think it is great. And since we're on this topic,
oh boy,
for those of you, our podcast listeners, you know how the show goes, guys. And if this is your first show, the expectations should be really low. And you'll come out of this feeling great about it, right? Because this is, it's free form, theater of the mind, stream of consciousness. Pick whichever one of those makes the most sense to you, and you'll be able to keep up with this, the nerve center of the WFO universe. So here's the deal. Next week, I am coming home from Bristol. I was originally going to be home midday on Monday, but now that has changed. I have been asked to report to something, which I cannot say what it is just yet. And I might be there on Monday night. I might be there and able to take part in the show, or maybe not. It's one of those deals that it's all up in the air because I got a Tuesday. What is it? No, that's not what's happening at all. I just totally misinformed everybody. That's how hot off the presses this is. I really don't even know what it is. No, Monday night. Jury duty. Not quite that. No. I'm gonna do something Monday in Nashville, Tennessee, and then so I got to get from Bristol to Nashville, which is happening, and then Monday I'm doing that, and I'm coming home at 6:45 Monday night from Nashville. Which means, you know what, man, I'm going to be on the plane. I get home at like midnight. I'm going through Charlotte. So you guys are going to have to do the show on your own. That's the deal. Like, I don't think I will even be available at any point. I mean, if I am, of course, I'll jump on, but plan for that because Racer Joe is not going to be around. Instead, I'm doing something which I'll let you in on once it happens.
It looks like the good news is we could either cry about Ferrari losing more races and there'll be a NASCAR race and stuff to talk about. So
there'll be plenty to talk about. And what you're really going to be talking about, in my opinion, is the great, and if this were to happen, there would have to be special programming, the Dave Morris victory out there at the Thunder Valley Nationals, because that's what I'm really invested in. We'll see when Sue Morris jumps on here, and we'll see as we get ready for that race. But now that we're talking, I wanted to drop that on you because it's happening, going down. Yeah. See how excited
I guess the advance warning is good, so I could prepare and some charts nonsense for the week.
Yes.
No, you know what? I will make sure to keep notes of all the things that I always want to talk about, and by the time Monday rolls around, out of sight, out of mind.
You got to keep notes, just like if you're a comedy writer, you got to always be writing. You got to be writing. You think of a funny thing, you got to write it down, because in a few minutes, I'll remember it. No, you won't. You won't write it down. You won't remember it. You got to remind. And when you're doing a show, like I got a couple of things that I want to talk about, like the live golf thing. I got this great AI story that's going to freak everybody out. I've been catching up on Rick and Morty. I've been watching a show for All Mankind on Apple. I'm throwing it out there. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'm finally caught up. All 4 episodes. Darth Vader, man. I don't know how last week you didn't drop that on me. I hadn't seen it. Thank you for not telling me.
What am I supposed to tell you? I'm not dropping any spoilers, man.
It just had to be tough. It had to be tough. That was the episode that we always wanted our whole lives. We finally got to see the stuff that we had been wanting to see, like Vader being a horrible, evil person. I don't know why we've all wanted to see that. And killing the innocent, torturing them.
Inside, we're all horrible evil.
Maybe we are, because I don't know, man. Through this whole Star Wars exercise, there's been lots of good lessons and bad lessons, and the one thing I've wanted to see the whole time is Darth Vader go off, and we got it. Not enough, though. Not enough. I'm hoping that there's a little more. I'm hoping there's a whole episode at that point. But we will get into it. We got the fantasy results and all that. And speaking of the Patreon co-hosts, let's bring on the Patreon co-hosts. Sue Morris.
Hey.
Hey, Sue. How are you?
I'm
You got to be excited about the weekend.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. More racing.
Oh, Father's Day weekend, Bristol Dragway. Oh, life is good. The weather's looking nice. I'm not going to jinx it, though.
Don't jinx
But
it, Sue.
I'm not. I'm just telling you, bring your shorts and bring a jacket. So,
Bring shorts and a jacket. Okay.
Why
I
not?
made I made that mistake in New England. I did not bring like a serious jacket, and I paid. I was like, oh, it's a little cold, but I toughed it out. You know, that's what you got to do. You got to tough it out. And I see other Patreons on there. Matt is on there. Monica's on. Everybody's just listening right now, and that's kind of cool. They have not enabled their camera, except for Derek has enabled his camera. But since he maybe or maybe not is driving, I'm not going to bring him on like that because, you know, just in case he can add to the chat section. I think he just wants
might
to
just be trying to listen.
Exactly is what he's trying to do. So we got a lot of things to cover in our hour and 15 minutes. Starting off with Daniel Suarez out there at Sonoma. And it was cool seeing, you know, Leah's out there, and Mike Salinas is out there, and everybody's out there covering the race. I've always liked Daniel Suarez for a long time. He joined us in the VIP area at Homestead Miami Speedway a couple of years ago. Remember that, Gio? Did that happen?
I actually do. Yes.
And he was super nice, like a nice person. And as he's coming to the finish line and everybody is talking about how nice he is, like this is a genuinely good person and everybody genuinely likes him. And he is just super positive individual. And there was not a negative word spoken about him or anything about him. And so I thought it was a popular victory. It was a good victory and he got the job done. Chris Buescher, good run for him. Second, Michael McDowell rounding out the top three. But let's listen to what Daniel Suarez had to say about this historic first victory. Good job. And Trackhouse, what they're doing, unbelievable. They've burst onto the scene. Let's listen.
I just didn't know what to do. You know, it was a special. Man, I've been waiting and I've been working very hard for this moment. Not just myself, but my entire team. You know, I'm very, very lucky to have a great people around me in my team, but also outside the team. You know, my family always supporting me. My beautiful girlfriend Julia, that she worked very hard in the last few months, keeping me up and letting me know that I was doing the right things. We just needed to have a clean day, and that's what we had today. So today just felt special. I told her this morning that today felt good, and we did it in front of a few hundred Mexicans in Dennis Amigos. So it was just a special day. You know, I have always seen California as my second home, and to be able to get the first victory here is quite special.
There you go. And Gio asked me to turn that up a little bit. It was pretty loud over here. I only have so much control over the volume that it makes it to you. But yeah.
Oh, don't worry. I'll make sure that post-production editors help out there if it's necessary.
Bring it up. Exactly. Derek out there says, hey, WFO folks, can't visit. We'll be listening. Might be able to comment more later. I'm off. I got an off the subject question for Floridians. Won't ruin the mojo flow right now, though. That's a little bit of a rhyme there, Derek. Okay, Derek, thank you very much.
I think he's teasing us, though, right now, Joe, with that.
Why is that?
Well, because he's like, I know he's all about not ruining the mojo, but well, what's the question?
Well, right, exactly. As if there's a theme to this show. Like, no, Derek, we are currently on a topic, and we have to stick to the topic. Otherwise, the program director will come in and fire us all. What's the question, Derek? Now's the time.
I got my eye on you, Joe.
That's right.
WNBC. So he'll get that question, off-topic question. It's got to deal with iguanas or something. It's definitely got to do with that. But I thought it was a good race. I thought it was fun, exciting. Kyle Larson losing a wheel. That is unfortunate because of the very stiff penalty that is associated. But it was going to be a good first-time winner like that. I think that was great. And Chris Buescher or Michael McDowell, if either of them had won, it would have been cool too. Rounding out the top 3, the podium, if you will. Kevin Harvick, Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Chase Elliott, William Byron, and Brad Keselowski rounding out the top 10. Austin Dillon, Justin Haley, Chase Briscoe, Eric Almirola, and Kyle Larson finishing 15th. Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, Kurt Busch, AJ Allmendinger, my seed driver. Oh, so sad. So sad. So sad.
Allmendinger
That's
and
just
Larson.
wrong.
My team must have been terrible.
Yeah, me too. I dropped a position. I couldn't, because I actually set the team and I kind of got into it because I was going to be home and I got into it and I think I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And everything I did was just wrong. If I had just left it, I would have had a good week.
I hate when
No
that happens.
joke, man. Listen, I took AJ Allmendinger and I swapped him in place of Austin Cindric. Okay, so there's a big mistake. And I put Kyle Busch in there, and that was a big mistake. And so like the rest of it, I didn't want to think about it. Joey Hand, 20th. Cole Custer, 21st. Eric Jones, Ty Dillon, Todd Gilliland, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Martin Truex Jr., Christopher Bell, Harrison Burton, Josh Bilicki, Kyle Busch, there he is, my buddy. 30th. 31st, Denny Hamlin, Cody Ware, Scott Eckert, Corey LaJoy, Tyler Reddick, and Bubba Wallace. Dead last.
Bubba blew it up.
Done, blowed up.
Boom.
Yeah, a boomer, which is cool. All right, here's Derek's question. Okay, I can't hang out to hear the result. Going to be jumping on a cruise ship Saturday. First port is Key West. What are some of the must-dos? Oh, man, the six-toed cats at the Hemingway House is my favorite thing to do. I think you should go see the six-toed cats at the Hemingway House. And then Duval Street, man. You just got to go up and down Duval Street and go to
the whole Key West area is tiny. It's tiny, so there isn't really
Pirate Museum. You got to go to Irish Kevin's. You got to get the Pirate's Punch. You got to go on the Ghost Tour. You can see the old hanging tree.
He's probably not going to be there that long if it's a if it's a cruise ship. They don't let you down for. You're not there all day. He's not going to be able to go on tours or anything.
Right.
Yeah, they're there
just going to be able to like go do some dive bar hopping.
Well, then, you go to
I'm assuming, I don't know how, I've never been on a cruise and I'm definitely not going on one. And so I have no idea how it works when you get to a port, how long you're there, but it can't be that long. And so
what do you think it is? What do you mean it can't be that long? It's overnight. Get out of here. I've been on one
really?
cruise.
Like they keep you overnight in places?
Yeah.
Usually, typically, okay. This is funny. Cruise ship talk here. Giovanni, so ignorant. But
you see, look, it's not overnight.
Look, not overnight. There it is.
So.
Okay, but he probably will wake up in the morning at Key West. Usually you get to the destination and you're there. Oh my gosh, we're here at the place that we're going. And then you get off. It takes a long time to get off one of those cruise ships, man. All those people, like just the ingress and egress alone is a considerable amount of time. All right, folks, you got an hour.
Go.
Go. And they all run off and they get a shot.
Look, I didn't think it was going to be like that. But I figured it's a few hours. I didn't think you're there overnight. That was just
do you think Key West, like, they got to extract the money from these people? You think Key West is on there to not have the people spend a large sum of their money in their bars? Absolutely not. There's definitely... He's going to have...
Well, that's the whole point. I figure he has all day to go bar cruising, but I'm not sending him on a tour somewhere. That seems...
I don't know, man.
Bar cruising, though, yes.
Bar cruising, maybe walk over to the buoy, the southernmost point. Now, I would never wait in that line to take a picture by the buoy. I would just walk around the other side and, take a quick selfie or something.
Listen, he arrives at 10 a.m. and leaves at 6 p.m. He's got all day in Key West. All right?
That's a lot of margaritas.
That is. Yeah, if he goes hard at the margaritas, he's going to be staggering back like Ernest Hemingway carrying a urinal.
But yes.
So Matt says, don't ever do it, Gio. It's like being on a floating all-you-can-eat buffet.
Oh, I have no desire.
No.
There's no need to convince me not to get on a ship.
We're floating petri dish.
Are going on a boat, as in, like here, the neighbor's boat or someone, one of us controlling the boat, but I'm not going on a big giant ship, especially after 2020.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. So I went on a cruise one time and I felt like, okay, Monica's against the cruise, Gio's against the cruise, Sue's against the cruise. I am generally against the cruise. In the right situation, I would go on a short one, but definitely not a week, because when he was typing, it feels like a floating. My word was prison. Okay. I gotta go, man. I can't be here anymore. I'm stuck. I'm done. What do I do? I've seen the casino many times. I've walked this cruise ship from stem to stern or whatever the whole thing 50 times. I've been to Johnny Rockets. I've done it all. Let me off. Let me go. Let me get out of here. How much longer is this thing? 4 days. 4 days. 4 days. What are we going to see? Well, we haven't been here yet. We haven't been there yet. And all of these excursions, they're pretty much the same. You park, you get, except for Key West, which Key West is a very fun place, Derek, and I think you're going to enjoy it greatly. Key West, Freeport, Half Moon Bay, and Nassau, Bahamas. Okay. I'm not telling you it's a bad cruise. It's like it's a week cruise, I think. That's a long one.
Wow, have fun.
Bobby's
I'm not signing up.
Stay with the ship arrangements. They warranty what you purchase. They will leave you. Oh, this is a great show. It's turned into how to have fun on a cruise. Don't go. Don't go. Monica.
I like Monica. Anxiety.
Anxiety on the seas. Wow. It's pretty uniform. Everybody hates cruises.
But everybody likes Key West.
Yeah.
I like Key West a lot. I can drive there, and yeah, I could fly there. There's Fort Lauderdale to Key West flights, and they're like $100. That's my next plan, to do that. Yeah. But you'll have fun.
Just drive the 2 hours, man.
What? 2 hours from here?
All right,
to
3.
West? No, yeah, like 3.5. It's like the same distance to Orlando.
Well, it's a shorter distance. It's just you can't travel as fast.
Yeah, and you're going.
It's considerably less distance.
Definitely a pretty ride.
It's that 2-lane highway, the overseas highway.
The ride of death. Remember that back in the day? Yeah. Oh man.
Well, a lot of people still die on that road.
We used to have a bunch of them. This is very.
It used to be a lot more. The sign never got past more than a few days. It never lasted a month because there's a sign there that says how many people have died on the road so far this year.
Yeah.
Or when was the last one, or something to that extent.
He's going for 8 days, folks. 8 days.
Wow.
Yikes.
I couldn't do it. Nope.
Nah.
I'm like, day 3, I'd be like, we got to go racing. Let's go. Time to leave.
Yeah. No matter what they've got on there, it's not enough. Cruise is a perfect vacation. Get on a boat and never have to worry about anything.
I think the only one I said I would sign up for is the Alaskan cruise, because I think that's the only way you could really see Alaska, is what I've been told. And I do want to see it before it melts. And so, that would be the only one you might get me on.
I'd agree with that. That's a good deal.
That's a good one.
That is good. Alaska cruise.
Dude, I'm not irrational. I'm set in my ways and a little bit stubborn, but I'm not irrational.
You are very stubborn. You're very irrational. Bobby Graham is on there, guys. Welcome to Bobby Graham.
WFO guys.
WFO
gals.
Yo, Bobby. WFO.
What's up, Bobby? All right, so we have already gone through the NASCAR results. The show is already off the rails, which is great. Let's just dive right into the fantasy results and keep it going, because I've promised everyone this is going to be a fast mover tonight. And if you're out there watching your very first show or listening, subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, etc., and so on. But also subscribe on YouTube, because it's not always the same. Tomorrow we're going to have Bill Skillman, Factory Stock Podcast. It should be cool. And Patrick, the webmaster, has been just on the money putting up the Fantasy League results. And that's always posted at WFOradio.com. Ray Indy wins the week, 382. Another huge week, guys. Another huge week. 2 380 weeks back to back by different people, but still, they're getting dialed in on this fantasy stuff. Second, Cervix Splitter, 362. Pickle Rick, 342, along with Cross and Racing, 342. Turn Left, 338. Zamboni John, 332. Bulls Wolf, 329. Olson's Trailblazers, he's down there. Whoop, whoop. Olson's Trailblazers, 327. Lake Oconee Scott, 323. And Dirt 99 with 311, rounding out the top 10. The biggest gainer is Ray Indy. Actually, most points. The biggest gainer is Turn Left, 338, up 13 positions. See, man, this is ridiculous. Biggest loser, 166. Top Fuel Champ, 1215, down 10 positions.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad, guys.
Oh, no.
Go of it stinks. Ray Indy is the new leader, guys. We are there, just passing the lead around like it was a something you pass around amongst a small group of people. Ray Indy.
Oh, I heard that song. Pass it to the left-hand side. What was I watching?
Right, whatever.
Is that on the new season of Stranger Things or somewhere?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Uh-huh.
Gio quoting a modern television show? Doubtful.
Yeah, except it's
well,
an 80s TV show. Why else
it
would I
is,
watch?
yeah. Exactly.
I watched the first season of Stranger Things, and I thought it was good, and then I got off of it. And now there's like 5 seasons in, man.
No, this is the 4th one, actually. They've been on hiatus for a really long time, so it's a good time to catch up. I just finished watching season 1. I'm halfway through season 2 already. I watch it in the middle of the night. I get about 2 or 3 a night. It's great when you can't sleep. This is the benefits of not sleeping.
All right, so Ray Indy's up 6 to take the lead. That shows you how tight it is. Has a 13-point lead over Mr. Fantasy NASCAR, who is second, 2-time champ. 4-time champ Dirty Hippies has dropped now down to 3rd. Craig and Newhall 4th. Bad Brad 5th, Dirt 99 6th. This is the overall, folks. Aviator Racing 7th, Bougainville 8th, Northwest Nitro Fanatics 9th, and Smothered and Covered, who is a past champion, is Bobby Graham. He's moving around, guys. He's doing all kinds of moving. I've muted him. because you could hear him moving a little. No offense, Bobby. It's all right. Northwest Nitro Fanatics 9th, Smothered and Covered 10th. Team English 11th.
Before you go off, man,
yes.
Not only the top 3 are covered now by 16 points, not as much as few as last week, but the top 7 are only 63 points apart, man. That is a really, really close field there.
Let me tell you about Aviator Racing, okay? You go on there, you look at these names, and they might not make sense to any one of you, but Aviator Racing was in the first ever WFO Fantasy League at XM Satellite Radio in 2004 or 5. Like, Aviator Racing gave it a ride to win the league, and they were kids then. Aviator, and he had this whole family, and they'd sit around the dinner table. Like, I don't know what they do now, if they listen to the show or not, but they're like grandfathered into the league. If Aviator Racing could finally win a championship and get the name on the trophy back there, that would be a big deal. A BFD is what that would be.
Huge.
Yeah, it would be huge. Bougainville, Northwest Nitro Fanatics, Smothered and Covered, Team English. Mike English is up there. Hockey Kid is up there, up 5 positions, making a run. Southern Racer X up 1 to 13th, making a run. Clausen Racing, Dragster Jeff, Olson's Trailblazers, Zamboni John down there in 17th, still looking real good, up a bunch of positions. Jambalaya J down 2 to 18th. Hockey Dad 19th. Day Racing 21 20th. El Jefe. Now I'm just giving numbers, but in order. Names starting at 21st in order. El Jefe, Hillbilly 5032, Elephant Racers, Los Chingones down 9, low. The bottom fell out, low. What happened? Dirt Girl number 2, Fantasy Clueless. Geo in Miami, up 1 to 27th. Good job, Geo. Miss
Hanging
Laura,
in there, man. Just trying to hang in there through the tough part of the seasons. Every time I forget to change the team.
Hang tough. Team 12, Chicken Pit Special, down 6. Easy E009, 31st. Up 6. Turn left, up 13. Wow. Stubo, up 6, 33rd. Sue, how about it?
Good going, too.
Beer
Darn
Rita
Kyle
Racing.
Larson losing a wheel, though.
You were up 6 with Kyle Larson?
Yes.
You had a pretty good team. 420 back. Beer Rita Racing, 81, 34th. Fat Tire 22. Barbecue Bob. Hebrews 12-1 Racing. 00 Dead On. The Stoge down 7. Race Day, Dixie. Flat. No movement for Dixie, 40th. Keen Racing, Texas Bugnut. Rich and Saugus up 1 to 43rd. Lake of Coney Scott up 8. 44th. Dirt Girl Team Gray up 7, Giovanni. The kid is up 7. What's going on over there?
Well, I walked in there on Sunday before the race, and I reminded him to move his team around. Obviously, he hasn't changed his team in weeks, so he just like swapped the bench for the starters, so that he doesn't run out of allocations. And apparently, it worked out. I have no idea who he had, but clearly, the move worked.
Yeah, he's doing good. Highline Real Fine, Thug Life Motorsports, Utah Drifter Racing, Bulls Will, Willoughby Racing, Top Fuel Champ 12-15, down 10, 52nd. Texas Outlaws, Cervix Splitter, Uper 1, Derail, that's Derek down there, up 1, 56th. Sacramento Racing Fan, Millerman 2, Brian, Rusty Racing, I Can See Her Almirolas, The Real Dookie, Garrett Senkow, Pickle Rick up 6th, Hoosier Racing, Intimidator Harley, Patrick the Webmaster, Race Day San Antonio, Mike, going in circles. JJ Husker fan, Bug Barn 70th up 1, Royal Flush Racing down 1, North Star driving hard, and WFO Joe. I find a way to lose a spot when I'm already 74th. Hate fantasy racing. Why did I start this? I'm going to smash the trophy, guys. Fleetry is behind me, though. That's all that keeps me warm at night, is knowing that Fleetry is behind me. Don't forget to set your teams going to Nashville this week. Yay.
Just
Isn't
remember
that
who
great?
gets penalties and who didn't.
Right. I seriously need to put reminders up for myself to change driver, says Monica. Also, Trailblazers stoked about his deal. And yeah. The cruise, we get 50% off because of the issues that we had on our last cruise. Lost power for about half an hour, for about an hour, amongst other things. Okay. Discount cruise is kind of cool. Just leave all that money in Key West, please.
We got in a hurricane on one, and I didn't get any money back. They locked the doors on us.
Lock the doors on you?
Yes, they wouldn't. Yes. Oh, the boat was bouncing big time.
Yeah, I have a story like that.
I had a blast.
Did you?
Yeah. You had
did
to
you
go
really
around
have a blast, or did you
the gallery to watch people trying to eat their lunch when it was all flying up in the air.
Oh my gosh!
It was,
so on that note, why I know my dad never wanted to go on cruise. Joe, I've been on aircraft carriers enough. I don't ever want to go a boat ever again like that. I was like, okay. My mother's not into it for all the same reasons that I'm not into it. But when I was bracket racing on a pretty regular basis, 1 year, I think maybe 1994. Just to pick when I think it was, they decided to go out on one of those night cruises. You know what I mean? With the gambling where you go offshore, like one of those deals, right? And so I was like, me and my friends, and we're like, I'm 20 something. And I'm like, yeah, I guess let's try it. We're going to do it. And so we get on the boat and where all the racers are there and we have the ceremony and people get their track champion trophies and everything. And I think I finished third that year or something. And we got all our stuff. And we hadn't even left the dock yet. And it was like, oh, man, okay. And my friend Jeremy, him and his dad, they were smart. They saw the opportunity and they bailed. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're out, man. No, we're out. And I was like, oh, that's very antisocial of you. Kind of a weird thing. They are geniuses. So we go out and now we're out there and we park. And this is where they extract the gambling money from you on these kind of deals. And we gambled a little bit and we had some food and we had some fun and we did our time and we had some fun and it was cool. And then, what then? We're just waiting. And we had, from that point, when I thought that thought, like, I'm kind of over this, 6 hours more, 5 hours more, long time, man, long. And it started to get wavy out there. Like Bobby was just talking about, except they can't lock the doors. You don't have a cabin. You don't have any place to go. And so the seas became rough and started to churn and you couldn't walk straight. And, in the casino, they've got those games. It's not like a slot machine, but it's like you take a token and you put the token in the machine. And then it's got these little bulldozer things that push the coins into a big stack. And then maybe you push it.
They have those at the arcade too.
That's the one to play.
They had those, right? Well, the waves were so big that those machines were just spilling money out. Money was just coming out. And the people who were working there were trying to come pick up the money. And a lot of people, not me, of course,
no,
were picking up the money.
No.
And then so it was like, oh, that was kind of the exciting part. And then we had 2.5 hours after that. And you saw, it was the first time in my life where I really saw grown men, tough men. I remember this guy who was a badass dude racer named Stevie, right? Brother. And he was tough. And I walked into the stairwell and there he was in a lump, in a pile on the ground in his own vomit, just fetal positions, seasick to death, green, just people you thought and you knew them and you respected them because they had earned your respect through their character and they were just laid to waste by seasickness. It was a horrible thing. And then the boat started to reek of vomit.
Oh,
big time, everyone, massive stuff, Stand By Me right? Just terrible situation. And then finally, we were in the final hour and went outside to the back of the boat and kind of found like a spot to just exist. And just my friends and I, we were like sitting in this like chaise lounge, just looking backwards at the boat, and you could feel a little mist on the sea and kind of just we're breathing there, just breathing to survive. And like an hour after that, we got off the boat. It was the greatest nightmare scenario that I've been a part of, and I never went on one of those things ever again. And the cruise, like, when oh no, that's a little boat, this big boat. The cruise was 1 billion times better and had no bad experience like that. But I'm just ruined. I can't ever do that again. Never. Never.
There you have
All
it.
right, let's talk Formula One. Let's talk about happy things like Formula One.
I was about to say, happy?
What a
Formula
great,
One?
another great performance by Ferrari on the pole, starting first and third.
Looking
Yeah, Gio,
strong.
you lead
And
the
then I
competition.
think that's about as good as it got.
Leclerc has 4 poles in a row and has made 1 podium on those, and has finished out of the points a couple of
Yeah,
times.
he came in second in Miami.
Thank
Blew
God.
up in Spain. They blew the strategy in Monaco, and they blew up this weekend in Azerbaijan. Way to go.
Yeah. The best part of that race was them singing the Azerbaijan national anthem. Like, oh my gosh, it was so intense. I felt like, man, maybe I should go to Azerbaijan. This is pretty neat. They've got like 4 really cool buildings there, and that weird Adobe looking round top building, and
that weird, and then those ergonomic shaped mirrored buildings.
Yeah. Azerbaijan, man, who knew? But what a nightmare. Ferrari, reliability issues, not just them, but all their engines. And the internet news is not good. Like, what is the problem? Like,
I mean, they're being trolled by everybody and everything all over the internet, fans and haters alike.
Oh no, it's a terrible time to be Ferrari. Remember 4 weeks ago, we were feeling pretty good, guys. Now it's all Ferrari crying towel. This is an abomination. It's a horrific nightmare for the Ferrari people. Verstappen, okay, gets back up there. Perez second. George Russell looking good. There's stories about the porpoising, the back issues. Christian Horner is accusing everyone of overstating the back issues. Lewis, when he got out of the car, you could tell he was definitely
got out of the car. You mean when he crawled out of the car? The poor guy it took him like 20 minutes to get out of the car, man.
If you watch the broadcast,
like one of us trying to get out of that car.
If the way worse than me, not as bad as you, but the hearing the car hitting the asphalt. Like,
not only that, you could see their heads on the in-car cam. Their heads are banging against that thing, dude. Somebody's gonna get a concussion.
I'm thinking
that's my guess.
The vertebrae. Just the pounding on the vertebrae, right? I got one of those hang upside down inversion tables, right? To prevent that. Oh my gosh, in a Formula One car, that has to feel horrible. But Christian Horner is saying, well, you could always raise the ride height and not have the problem. You would go slower, but you haven't figured out how to do that. We have. So tough stuff, because Toto is trying to get the FIA to maybe make some sort of rules change, minimum ride height, that kind of thing. And Red Bull's like, we don't have that problem. And so it's kind of an interesting scenario. Like, what do you do? Do you make all the other drivers suffer through pain and injury because their teams couldn't figure it out? Or do you punish Red Bull for having figured it out?
Punish Red Bull.
Gio goes on the record. Punish Red Bull.
Christian Horner's great for TV, but screw them.
You say make minimum ride height.
I can't wait for the next season of Drive to Survive so we can see all these backstories.
They all put a My Pillow in their bottom of their car.
My Pillow, I love it. Right. Keep it shape.
Keep
just to cushion their bottom. Yeah,
and I knew I'd get a rise out of Monica. I was waiting.
Oh, really? No punishing Red Bull. Thank gosh Monica is a Red Bull fan. There has to be one. right? Like, Gio used to be a Verstappen fan, but Max drove him off, and Monica likes Red Bull. Well, you can't argue with their results. Their results are pretty amazing. Gio, why don't you give us the results of the Formula One race and lead us through that? Yeah, like it's too much me on the show. There's got to be less me on the show. Like next week when you and Sue are doing the show by yourselves after Dave's win.
Yep.
She didn't even know what I'm talking about, but she is agreeing. See, that's
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing.
All right.
Travel.
Here we
I
go.
got travel.
I figured. Yeah.
F1 Azerbaijan results. First, Max Verstappen, of course. He was so quick that he blew by Carlos Perez? No, sorry, Carlos Perez. Sergio Perez by 21 seconds. So Sergio Perez came in second. So Red Bull 1-2. And Mercedes
Carlos
3-4.
Perez. Who's Carlos Perez?
Someone I actually know.
It's gotta be.
When Neil used to joke about just some Julio, well, I actually know someone named Carlos Perez.
Jorge Rodriguez, right? Like,
Yes, basically, yes.
I got you.
Yes, the John Smith of Hispanic names. But there's a whole bunch of them just like John Smith anyway. You see here now, I lost where we were. All right. In any event, where were we? Here we go. Max, Sergio, Russell, Hamilton, and then Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel with a 6th place. That's a great run by him. He got around Fernando, who was holding up traffic for a long time again. And so Alonso 7, Ricardo and Lando Norris 8 and 9, and Esteban Ocon rounding out the top 10. Valtteri Bottas 11th, Alexander Albon 12, Yuki Tsunoda 13, Mick Schumacher. Hey, that's a good finish for Mick. No points, but 14th. Latifi 15, Lance Stroll. Here are the DNFers. Lance Stroll, who wrecked out. Kevin Magnussen, Ferrari engine issues. Zhou Guanyu, who was running in the top 10, also engine issues. And, of course, the 2 Ferraris bringing up the rear, Charles and Carlos, who had different issues. I think Carlos had a brake issue, the brake-by-wire issue. And Charles, well, he blew up when the strategy might have been turning Ferrari's way, and he had just taken the lead because he had pitted. He was on a different pit strategy.
Yeah.
He pitted with the caution, with that first caution came out when signs blew up. And a lot of cars used that virtual safety car to pit. And once the Red Bulls pitted, he had a lead, and we were about to find out how the strategy was going to play out, except he blew up again. And so there you have it, another horrible performance by Ferrari. And over the course of the last 4 weeks, they have gone from leading the constructors and leading the championship with Charlie Leclerc to being way behind now. Red Bull has completely taken a dominating lead in the constructors championship. Max has a dominating lead in the championship, and it's over his teammate Sergio Perez now and no longer Charles. As a matter of fact, Charles, the Mercedes has closed the gap in the constructors on Ferrari for second.
Yeah, they're going to blow right
third
past
now than they are to the top.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you have it. I'm not going to say too much more. It's an abortion of a race for Ferrari.
Oh, something that's terrible. Canadian Grand Prix this week. Somebody reached out to me on our Facebook, or one of the many, many methods which people can comment, and wanted to know if anybody in the WFO universe is going to the Canadian Grand Prix. That he's going to be there, and if anybody's going, he wants to meet up. And so I said I would mention it on the show. I do think it would be cool if we had WFO listeners that were up there at the Canadian Grand Prix. It's been a while since there was a Canadian Grand Prix, so I'm pretty excited about that. And that'll be going on this weekend. So, connect with me on Twitter, and we'll put it out. The WFO meetup is happening up there at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve.
I wonder if Mike's heading there.
Yeah. Race guitar.
Yeah, race guitar could be. Who knows?
Well, he didn't come to New England, so I don't know if he's going to the Canadian Grand. Well, it's right there.
Well, he lives in Canada, remember?
Yeah. No, I know. I think it'll be great. I just love the fact that the WFO listeners are wanting to do a meetup. Here's the thing on Ferrari, Gio. This is the reality, okay? They were not going to just knock Red Bull off the top this year. That was an unrealistic expectation. They did make massive improvement to go from where they were to where they are. And that needs to be like, at least they're winning polls. At least they got a fast car, but they're not there. They're not a championship team, man. They don't have the brain for it. They don't have the experience for it. They haven't been tested by fire like Red Bull has. And, the fight against Mercedes has made Red Bull great. And they are not just going to get knocked off the top in the first year. This is not. Max is going to go on. He's going to win the championship. It's going to be 2 years in a row. Max Verstappen. He's going to dominate. And then maybe you got a shot at him next year after all of these learning moments, these teachable moments for Ferrari. But like for us to really, as sports fans, to expect they're going to just do that and Red Bull's going to fall off like that. They're not. They're not.
I didn't expect Red Bull to fall off, but this is a new car, and Ferrari this is what they were preparing for.
Yeah,
this is what we heard for the last few years, that we had to put up with crap.
Yeah.
And we accepted it. And now, now
light
it's time
years better.
Either, as they say, take care of business or get out of the John.
Yeah, they're not gonna just win a championship. They, it's such a cliche. You've got to come close first. You've got to be in the fight and experience it.
So are you saying that the greatest team in the history of Formula One has forgotten how to win? That they don't even know how to win anymore? That's what you're telling me, that they become the Cleveland Browns?
They're relearning. They're
Or
relearning.
the Washington Command Skins?
Command
Skins.
They're relearning this whole process. Yes, they have forgotten. There's nobody there.
Laughed at me when I said guys don't know how to win yet, that they got to get there and all yada yada.
I never laughed at you at that. That's revisionist history. I never said that. I believe what I'm saying from way back. You gotta go through the process, and they're going through it. But the problem is that they're pissing off Leclerc. Like, this guy looks like he had his soul ripped out. Like, that's not good. And I just saw like a story where I was reading about this, and like what they did to Alonso, and then what happened with Vettel, and like what happened with all these guys. Like, Ferrari doesn't have a really good rep right now. They're crushing the soul of talented drivers. And this could go really bad, really sideways. Like, let's hope. Let's hope they can finish some races. Let's hope their engines aren't all blowing up on their customers, man. This is a big problem. So,
well, that's the least of it. They're going to have the issues with when they have to use now new engines. There's an engine limit, and so they're going to be taking penalties. And no, that's it. This last month,
it's over.
In theory, we're only a third of the way into the season. 8, I believe, out of 23 races. So we're just slightly over a third of the way. But at this rate, it doesn't look. The end of the season diagnosis doesn't look good.
No.
Prognosis, I guess.
Okay, so like, the question is, can you finish? Like, you need to be able to finish third in the constructors. Mercedes is coming up, and they're coming on strong.
No. They got to be able to hold off Mercedes, man. They're faster than Mercedes right now. They got to figure out how to be reliable and how to compete and stay at that. I don't want to hear that they got to figure out how to, stay.
I am
third.
pessimistic. If that's the goal,
third. Get out of here.
If that's the goal, well, acceptable, not acceptable, like what you're agreeing to and what's reality.
No, not me, but heads are going to have to roll in Maranello for that. Like,
reality,
Waldo's not going to have a job much longer if this continues.
Maybe he won't. Right now, the way things are looking for Ferrari to hold on to number 2 in the constructors, the Joe Castello opinion is doubtful. That's what I'm telling you, based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Mostly cloudy with a 60% chance of rain.
Yeah. Doubtful. Not looking good. Mercedes is now third, 161. They're coming on strong. Cars are getting better. They don't paralyze their drivers with compression. And that's it.
Look, Red Bull found a way to compete to the end last year and win. And Mercedes, while they were, they haven't figured out the car hopping thing. I mean, they call it porpoising of, the Brits. They're just so British. Porpoising. The car bounces up and down, and they call it porpoising.
We call it bad shots.
Look, I get it. but it's
Next
but
Monday is AJ's birthday, by the way, guys. So
Woo,
Sue
all
and
right.
Bobby and whoever's doing the show next week, just remember it's AJ's birthday on
All
Monday.
right.
So do some nice birthday stuff. I know I've got Sue to remember.
I
Good
got
job.
it.
Yeah. Good job, Sue. Everybody, look, Bobby Graham is going to the Notebook. Everyone's going to the Notebook. So does anybody have
I
anything
will
else to
remember. She's
say
gonna come
about, Formula One? Obviously, there it is. Happy birthday. That's next week. I don't. I was just sad. I get up in the morning, I put it on, I'm all like, and the just energy just got sucked right out of me. Like, are you kidding me? This is a nightmare. And it is. But congratulations to Monica and Red Bull and Max Verstappen and everybody out there in the WFO universe that follows Red Bull and enjoys them greatly. Good for you. And on that, I did finish Drive to Survive from last year. And
welcome to the club.
yeah,
Finally.
I wanted to be emotionally ready for it, right? Like I wanted to be emotionally ready to get through it. And I watched it and I thought it was okay. It wasn't as crazy as I expected it was. I think they kind of polished it a little bit. It's just like, Max is the champ and that's it. And Lewis congratulated him and that was it. But it does make me so excited for next year's to find out all the nonsense that's happening behind the scenes this year. Like it does. Like they can never not do that show ever again. It will kill the sport. It's part of the sport now to have that show. And pretty amazing. Matt says, writing it down, we take this very seriously, says Matt Clark down there, who hopefully will join the show at some point a little bit later on and tell us about the Winternationals down there, which dude was posting every highlight from the race, and there was a lot of them. Like they tore up a lot of equipment down there at Willowbank. We'll hear about that a little bit later on in the show. But right now, Indy Car, Joseph Newgarden wins at Road America over Marcus Erickson and Alexander Rossi. It was kind of a fun race. They looked like they were going really fast. That's for certain. Roman Grosjean fourth, Colton Herta fifth, Felix Rosenquist sixth, Scott McLaughlin, Graham Rahal, Scott Dixon, and Christian Lundgaard rounding out the top 10. I was, kind of cheering for Graham to go out there and run well. And it was a fun race. Simple as that. It was exciting. It was fun. They're going off. They're dirt tracking. They're kicking up dust. They're kicking up dirt. It was pretty crazy. A lot of fun. Olson's Trailblazer says happy birthday to AJ. He says his birthday is tomorrow. Olson's Trailblazer's got a birthday. Way to go,
Yes.
Olson's
Tomorrow's
Trailblazer.
my cousin's birthday too.
Happy
Day.
birthday.
Flag Day. Exactly. Happy birthday. That is super exciting for everybody out there. All right. Anything else? Anything else? Head to the Thunder Valley. Sue, are you guys ready to win this race or what?
Oh,
Yes.
man. Absolutely. Absolutely. So we got some good mojo on our side. We went racing again this weekend out at Union County Dragway, and we were going rounds and both on Saturday and Sunday. I only went 3 on Saturday, but Sunday went out there and 5 rounds in and got down to the 10 cars. So we're gonna carry that momentum in, but finishing doing some fine tuning. Ronnie just got back in town. His son got married over the weekend, so he's chomping at the bit.
Oh, there's
He's
all kinds
ready.
of positive energy floating out there in the ether.
That's right. That's
I love
right.
it.
So we are loading up and ready to go. Can't wait.
And you
Gonna
bring in the
be fun.
Rodax coffee. Sue sends me a picture today of Rodax coffee. It's like, which do you prefer? And I was like, both. Of course. Bring it all. Load
That's
it up.
right.
And I'm swinging by there for morning coffee. I'm not even going to go by the McDonald's.
No, you don't even have to suffer.
I'm not. No, I'm
We'll
not.
have you a fresh brewed Rodex.
I can't wait. I'm super excited. I'm very excited about this weekend's race, actually. I don't know why. It was just 1 week ago. We were in New England. But I know this is a great race. This is a very fun race. If you're out there in the Bristol, Tennessee area, come out to the track. Sue and Dave are going to be out there, and there's going to be a lot of other racers out there, and I'll be there. And it's Father's Day weekend, and they always say, it's dad. It's all about dad. I'm a little bummed that I don't get to hang with my dad, but I'm doing something that he likes and he's watching. And so that's a good thing. And we'll all be out there. But this is the first one since 2019 on Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
In a long time. You'd think that the people in that area would pack the house and come on out. I know there is inflation and there's high gas prices and all, but there's something else you got to cut out before the drag racing. Come out to the drag races. That's what I think. And the people I know are just kind of
dude, the tickets to the race cost the same. They're not ganking you on that, man. These are the things that cost the same still. Tickets to the race. There's not a big giant inflation on that, and you already bought them and paid for them a long time ago, so you might as well show up.
Well, we hopefully have a big walk up, but you're right, Gio. I actually think that everybody talks about tickets.
I think by comparison, they're actually cheaper than they used to be. So get on out there and go support your local drag racing, and especially when NHRA drag racing is in town. So
given inflation, the tickets have not gone up in price, so technically there's a discount. That is a very good spin, Gio. You win the spin award for the show right there. I'm going to use that.
And I will tell you, Bristol, there's just no place like it. If you're nearby, you have to go. Between the sounds bouncing off the hills and the mountains, the crowd, you have camping on either side. I mean, the atmosphere of Bristol just makes that place, and you always feel welcomed when you go there. So it's always a great race. It's a tough racetrack. But hey, they were fixing the bumps over the tunnels. So we're excited. We were really glad to hear about that. So I'm sure Pro Stock was too.
Yes.
But it's always a fantastic race. And yes, it is near and dear to our heart in 2017 when we got the win in Super Comp. And but it's just there's just something about that place. I can't shake it. It's I have to say it's one of our favorite tracks on the tour that we go to. Look forward to it every year. Wish we could go more.
I agree. No, well, and that's where we became friends. We did that big interview on the return road when Dave won in Super Comp, and you told me about it, and I had totally forgotten about it. It was great stuff, big time. But it's a great facility. We make a big deal about seeing that.
Remember, I forgot to acknowledge your husband winning.
No, I did a great interview, but then after the fact, just like everything else, like right after it's over, it's just gone, and it's on to the next thing. And but look how things have worked out. But that facility is over the top. The tower suite, the fact that you can buy your way into a public suite in the tower. That is just gorgeous. It's intimate. You don't have to walk too far. It's one of the better tracks out there on the tour. And honestly, we get a good crowd. The crowd's loud. They yell. They make noise. And I'm hoping that they're energized this week. That's what we need coming in off New England and going to Norwalk. This could be a really good stretch for us as we get ready to head out on the Western Swing. While we're talking about this, I said something to the Patreons earlier this week about group hotels and stuff. And, should we do that? The response was positive. A lot of people are going to Indy and a lot of people are going to Vegas too. But generally the sentiment was not to get a group hotel because it's just not enough people to do that. But that's something we can aspire to in the future. Right. But it's looking pretty interesting. The Indy and the Vegas 2 WFO meetups for Patreons. Now, Sue, what happens if someone comes up to the meetup for Patreons and says, "Hey guys, I'm a listener. You're Sue, right? Can I come? I'm not a Patreon." What do you do?
Come forward. Come on. Let me show you how to join up to the club.
What about you, Bobby?
Just selling $5. Come on.
There it is. $5 bill.
Put it in the pot. Put it in the pot.
You guys are going to be in charge of that.
You got to tip the attendant to get past the hat, my friend.
Put the hat out.
That's right. Put it in the hat.
That's right.
Every Patreon is
in Dallas. We get
sort of side hustle. That's a perfect hat for it too, Bobby. Oh man! All right, Sports Collision, Gio, take over.
Ooh, Sports Collision. What is going on in the regular sports world? Well, NBA Finals are going on. Tonight is Game 5 between Golden State and Boston. Over the past week, Boston and Golden State has split a couple of games. Oh, well, not a couple, 4 games, as the home teams split games. Boston won the first game. Golden State won Game 2. Boston won Game 3. Golden State won Game 4. So today is Game 5. They are in Golden State. Probably just tipped off a few minutes ago. I have not checked the score, but let's quickly take a quick look. 14-6 halfway through the first quarter. Golden State up on Boston. That 17-6. Let me quickly update that. And
I heard
we'll see. This series been very back and forth. They're kind of blowouts early, but the team losing always makes a run. They're kind of close by half. Closer to one team makes a big run, and so
the
far
aggregate score of all the games was 422 to 421 Golden State after 4 games. I thought that was just a crazy stat.
That's all you need to know right there.
Yeah.
And the games have pretty much been that way. And so that's what's going on in the NBA Finals. The NHL Finals have been...
Matt says for $50 you can have a WFO day membership at the Patreon only meetup. And I think by the way everyone is reacting, that's a pretty funny and good idea. The day membership. You worked at the Admirals Club, right? You got to spend $50 to go in there between flights. At least you get to hang out with the WFO.
That's right. They'll give you the day membership for $50. That's a good one. All right. In other sporting news, the NHL Finals have been are set, and as the Tampa Bay Lightning eliminated the New York Rangers over the weekend in 6 games, the 2-time defending champs are back in the finals, this time against Colorado Avalanche. And as much as I hate to admit to predict it, I foresee a Tampa Bay winning a cup again in 6 games.
Dynasty.
3 back-to-back cups for Tampa. I don't know what's in the water in Tampa now. Their baseball team has obviously been very good. They're not good this year, but over the last 10, 15 years, they've shown that they know how to win with a lot less money than everybody else. And over the past few years, ever since they got Tom Brady, the Bucks are back in the Super Bowl and in the championship game.
Yeah.
And now, and the hockey team has been kicking ass. Thank God they don't have a basketball team.
Started all right. Exactly. So they started it all. It's crazy. I got to admit something terrible, that, all my friends are Rangers fans and I'm not. I have no connection to the Rangers. I did root for them in, what was that, 94 when they won the
year,
right.
When they won
that year I was rooting for them just because it was the big thing. But this year, all my friends are on our little group text and they're like, yeah, the Rangers. These guys don't pay attention to the Rangers at all. They live in Florida. They're not paying attention at all. But now the Rangers are making a run. They're all in and they're going to enjoy this championship. Yeah, we're going to go. We're going to the finals. It's going to be great. And so I got to say, I was secretly pleased when the Rangers were eliminated.
What a pity, man. We were having fun. The guys on the text line were all watching these games, enjoying this.
And I quietly just observed, and I thought to myself, you know what? All right. And when they lost,
you trying to, jinx the mojo, bringing up, non-sporting event items and everything else to distract us with
to pour some cold water on the deal to cool it down. No, I wouldn't go so far as to waste. I'm not wasting cosmic energy on something so small. But now that they have been eliminated, I'm kind of excited that you guys aren't celebrating some sort of Stanley Cup thing. You guys don't care about it. You're not a Rangers fan, Gio.
No, but I enjoyed watching the run. And by the way, remember there was no Panthers till like the mid 90s.
So
before that, you rooted for the Rangers.
Yeah, see, or the New Jersey Devils, which is what.
No, not the Devils.
Yeah, I was a Devils guy.
No.
Before
really?
we had Florida hockey.
Guys, but we were
Jersey Devils? Seriously?
Yeah, because New Jersey, I had a chance to. When do you ever get to root for New Jersey over New York when you're from New Jersey? The answer is never. Like, we get the Yankees, we get all the teams, we get everything. We're just kind of lumped in with New York.
Never rooted for Edmonton or the Kings, because we weren't like Gretzky fans. Even that, I would rather root for the Penguins and Lemieux and Crosby and all those guys before that. I know. Sue would never.
No, she's a Flyers gal. That's it.
I remember Lynn Boston, that guy.
I really knew nothing of hockey. I knew very little hockey, anything, until the Panthers came around, right? Which was what, 92?
I think it was 93, 94. I think the Panthers and the Marlins came around the same year, 93.
Yeah, knew nothing of hockey except that it existed, and like Olympic hockey, like Miracle on Ice, that kind of stuff, but not really knowledgeable about it until the Panthers came around, and then I got into it. Obviously, I'm a Panthers fan. But there you go. You got the Avalanche, and they are the ones that deprived of us of our one Stanley Cup opportunity.
Right. They swept the Panthers back in 95 or 96, the year of the rat, when everybody that's locally in South Florida, it was a pretty young expansion team, and everybody, jumped on the rat wagon as it was back then. Because I think it was wasn't it like Mellenby or one of those guys killed a rat in the locker room?
Oh yeah, no, it was Scott Mellenby,
the old pink elephant. Van
Beesbrook was this unconscious in Mets.
Yeah, and Jovanowski and Niedermeyer. Yeah, I remember those guys.
Oh man, I remember.
But anyway, so we lost this year to the Lightning, who are in the midst of a dynastic run, which makes it
unbelievable.
What are you going to do? You're going to knock out a team that's
like the guy put a cover on the damn net. Nothing gets by him. He didn't let the Panthers score. The Rangers scored 3 goals in the last 3 games combined. And he did the same thing to the Panthers.
And that's
but hey, look, Monica's on our side. She's cheering for the Avalanche.
He did his job.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about hockey is that when you put a goalie that's standing on his head, you're not going to win. And that's it. And that's what this guy's doing. It's pretty crazy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. She's cheering for the Avalanche. Since my she's a Caps fan. That's good.
But in other news, and let's talk about we cried enough around here with Ferrari, and we celebrated Suarez's victory. Which, by the way, you know what? Did we mention the first Mexican driver to win a Cup race?
No.
And only the 5th non-American born driver. I mean, this is historical for Daniel, man. Listen, I don't know if you didn't listen to the press conference that's there in the WFO archive, the post-race presser. You should definitely give that a listen. It's not too long. It's about 40 minutes long. But Daniel was really good. He thanked everyone. He spoke in Spanish a little bit. If y'all want to know what he said, just hit me up and I'll translate for you. And but it was very good. He made reference to the fact that he's breaking barriers for everyone, because now there's Hispanic and Mexican pit crew members and engineers. One of their race engineers is Mexican and so forth. And he was really good. So if you get a chance, pop that post race presser in there and give Daniel a listen. He was very good at. And that was it. I just wanted to definitely mention, because I thought it was a huge win, not just for him, but in general, as these Mexican drivers throughout all over motorsports are doing very well right now. Sergio Perez just won in F1. He's second in the championship. And Pato O'Ward is, kicking ass in IndyCar.
I've been a fan a while. He's into Volkswagens a lot. He posts a lot of Volkswagens that he restores.
Who's that?
Daniel.
Oh wow.
He's big time.
I've seen that, Bobby, actually.
Well, it's one of those deals where, like, are you okay with international stars coming into our sport and the sport becoming more global, or do you want to keep it only an American thing? And the answer is that's not really your choice. It's about the talent of the people involved. And Daniel also, they bring a lot of money into the sport as well. His dad is very successful down there, but the kid is obviously talented, and he's got a worldwide following, and he's a very positive person. So there's no downside to it. And I see NASCAR with their new car and their emphasis on road course racing becoming very acceptable to people who maybe all like Formula One, but want to see like cars go around, like a real car, like a coupe, as opposed to an open wheel Formula One style car, doing a lot of the same things except with contact and
beating and banging on each other.
Yeah,
and racing mostly in circles. But you're right, as the sport has grown and they continue to add road courses, it definitely brings awareness to an element of racing fans that might not have been interested in stock cars going roundy round.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, they should be good on road courses, because have you ever been down to Mexico and watch them drive on the street down there? There's no signs. They can blend and match and never run into somebody is better than anything I've ever seen down there.
Yeah.
And nobody's getting upset. They just cross and go.
No rules, no laws, no right side or wrong side of the road.
Yeah, no, the lights and the signs don't really mean anything. I've
No.
experienced third world, South American country driving. Also, I've driven in Colombia and in places like that, and it is crazy to say the least.
Well, and the thing
the
is,
rules
if you
don't
don't
mean
want him to
anything.
win, outrun him, pass him. You know?
Yeah, well, and they come to the light, and the lanes don't mean anything. If there's
No.
room between two cars in the lanes, somebody will get in there in between you. Like,
yeah.
the lanes don't really mean anything. It's you got to be careful with the spacing because they will fill it.
But the cure for the international driver, the way I look at it, I'm all for it. If you don't want him to win, pass him and don't let him win.
Right. No, they.
Hey, by the way, Suarez, man, it's taken him a few years to finally, be able to be in. I mean, I guess he's had good equipment over the years, but it just wasn't when his talent had reached the point where he was able to put to put it together with the experience in that type of car.
He was an Xfinity champ. We watched him win it at Homestead, and he had a good year that year, and he went out and won. But that first of all, the difference between being an Xfinity champ and being a Cup regular winner is a lot. But did he have the right stuff, the right time, the right chemistry? It shows that you can keep working. And he said that how many times, right? Nobody gave up on me, and they didn't let me give up on myself. And that's part of it. Just because you're not there right now, and we talk about this in sports and athletics all the time, doesn't mean you can't get there. It's just, can you get there in enough time to show everyone in the amount of time that you're allotted? Which is why
that's the key right there. Are you able to showcase your talent in the little time that you have when you're given a certain opportunity? Another perfect example is Joey Logano.
Yeah,
he started out in that number 20 car at Gibbs, and if you went by what the success there wasn't a lot. Maybe a couple of race wins, and if you judge his career by what happened at Gibbs, you would have said he was a failure. That Joey Logano did not live up to the hype, but he got his opportunity at Penske, and he's won almost 30 races. He's a champion, and he showed that. Maybe his skill wasn't quite at the level where he needed to be when he got the opportunity. And we see that in sports all the time, in the other sports. But, you just kind of don't think about it in motorsports. But these guys, they need a chance to learn, the car and the team and everything. You can't just put them in there 1 or 2 years and they just say, oh, sorry. But, unfortunately, this type of business is perform or get out. Really
and
quick
the car is such a big part of it. Now, this style of car that with the wider tires, sequential gears, like there's a lot of things that are different about this car that are maybe closer to his skill set. And you're seeing it in Formula One with Lewis Hamilton and George Russell right now, right? And people are trying to run Lewis out of the seat. You see people talking about Lewis should retire, right? Immediately, the haters are coming out and they're saying stuff about Lewis Hamilton. Well, Lewis Hamilton has all this experience that is no longer applicable. The old tires, the way they wore in, the way they handled the old car. This is a totally new car. It's probably an advantage for George Russell to not have had very much experience with the old Mercedes. He's getting used to a new car. He went from that car to this car. He's in a new car. He's switching cars every couple of years as he's coming up the ranks. And this is just another change and he's adapting to it, right? Lewis has been doing the same thing at the highest level of Formula One for a while. It's going to take a little longer for him to, or maybe he won't.
I really don't think it even goes that far. I think if you really look at it, it's been a matter of, the car, he hasn't quite fully gotten to where he's used to this car. But I think it's a couple of instances of just simple bad luck on the track. This past week, the fact that they got double stacked in the pitting under the caution under the virtual safety car, since Lewis was the second car, he was right behind George when he came in, but two or three other cars got in between him by the time he came out of the pits, and he spent the rest of the race working his way around Alonso and those other guys, and ended up right where he would have started, right behind Russell. If he's able to pit equally and come out together, who knows? Maybe he passes him on the track, or maybe he's right behind him. And I've seen that in more than one race this year, where just the fact of the pit strategy or where he was on the track, and when he pitted, got him behind the cars and in traffic, and he wasn't able to get around them. And I think that's just bad luck at some point in the race, and not necessarily that he doesn't, anything to do with his skill or talent level.
It's just not always as simple as, oh, they can do it or they can't do it. There's, especially in auto racing, there are so many elements that come into play, whether you're drag racing or otherwise. If you look at, J.R. Todd right now, well, he's not winning anything. Is he a bad driver? No, they're not giving him anything to race with.
Right.
Right. They're not giving him anything to race with. And he's just like suffering, right? You go talk to him. He's probably like, oh my gosh, I know I don't have anything to show what I'm capable of right now. But you just do what you got to do. All right. So we finished up with Sports Collision. I just want to ask about this Live Golf.
Well, I wanted to say that,
yeah,
it's segueing really quick backly. In baseball, all is good in the world, as the New York Yankees are on top of the world. After 60 games, they have 44 wins. They're 44-16. They're on pace for a MLB record 119 wins, which is nonsense, of course, but they're on record pace. And it's just super happy. I can only hope that they continue to pitch like this. I don't expect it. And especially as a Yankee fan, we expect greatness, but we've come to expect the other foot to fall, really, because we haven't won anything since 2009 and haven't even really sniffed anything since the asteroids cheated in 2017. And so that's it. The Yankees are in first place. That's why I'm wearing a Yankee hat today in celebration of all is good in the world, with the Yankees where they belong, on top of the baseball standings.
Red baseball.
Well, hey,
And,
the Phillies are at 500 now. So.
Hey, the Phillies are at 500, Stu. Way to go.
That's right. They fired Joe Girardi and they can't lose.
And now they won 8 in a row. So.
Yeah.
Well, they're actually they finally lost yesterday or something. But yes, they did win 8 in a row after they fired Girardi. They're 8-1 with the new manager. Sometimes that's all you need is no, actually, it looks like they had Girardi had lost the locker room, and the players had mentioned something that made it seem that way. And so as soon as he got fired, of course, they're going to go on a winning streak.
They have to, right? Well,
By the way, the Phillies weren't dumb. They fired him when they were playing, I think it was the Angels or some crappy team. When they had 2 crappy teams coming, because you're not going to fire your coach when you're going to play the Yankees and the Dodgers this week, so that go 0-6, and it looks like, oh well, why did you fire the coach for it? It wasn't his fault. So you do it when you're going to play a crappy team, so that you could go on a winning streak. And it looks like, we told you it was Joe Girardi.
Right. Right. That's but that's the thing about chemistry and all of these things, right? Like certain pieces only fit in certain places, and
the Phillies still don't have any bullpen help.
Yeah, you got to
in order to win, they need a lots of bullpen help. And I'm hoping the Yankees will bring in another starter, and just because I feel that you got to get through October, man. And these guys have been doing well, but it's guys that are some of them are old veterans, and some of them are young guys that haven't really performed before. And it's a lot to ask these guys to just be able to do that all season long and then throughout the playoffs. So I would like to see them bring in somebody to help.
Long way to go.
Long way to go. We're only 60 games in.
Long way to go.
Another 100 to go.
And then the playoffs, which is really all that matters. Oh, guys,
Absolutely.
Look, Matt Clark is down there. He is getting added to the stream. Matt Clark is added to the stream. Look, he's sitting on the wrong side of the car and everything.
I bet he drives on
the
right
side.
Hopefully he's got better internet this week. He's in a different location, I would imagine. What's up, Matt?
I am. Hey, good day, guys. WFO.
Good day.
WFO.
Good day, Matt.
Good day.
I mean,
hey, mate.
You're literally on the right side, but it's the wrong side.
Skip it.
Let it go, Matt. Let it go,
Matt.
Yeah.
You got to learn that.
I guess that's perspective, isn't it?
It really is. So Drag Racing Australia, now it's time for the Drag Racing Australia report here on WFO Ignition. If you're a fan of Australian drag racing or Australia at all, or even have ever been curious, click subscribe. If you, like I, enjoyed BMX Bandits with Nicole Kidman as a young man and have always been interested in Australia, Click subscribe.
In Nicole Kidman or Australia?
Both. It was a great movie, man. BMX Bandits. They were running around, they stealing the radios. It was great stuff. Hey, you guys tore up a lot of equipment down there, Matt. Did you like sprain your arm posting all of those crashes up on our YouTube group? That was.
I probably should have said it. I probably should have asked you, Joe. Am I overdoing it or?
No, we want to see everything that happens.
Okay.
I thought you did a great job. Like I felt like I got a pretty good indication of what was going on down there. It was just nutty how many different things. That one crash with the dragster versus the door slammer. I don't know if everybody saw it, but it's in our WFO group. Oh my gosh. This thing is inches behind this guy. He's in the shutdown area I think it was a Camaro or something. And this car is barrel rolling behind him. And if he's looking in the mirror, he's towing a parachute. This thing is about to roll over the top of him, but it never got there.
Yeah, that class is called Supercharged Outlaws. So it's a dial your own class for all vehicles 750 and faster. And it was pretty hairy, as Joe said. I actually think the dragster got caught up in one of the parachutes of the Camaro. I don't know if it tore it off or not, but it was hard to see from the camera angle. But scary moment. And there was plenty of them. There was. We had 4 days of beautiful weather up there, which is unusual for the Winternationals. So there was no weather delays. Crowds were pumping for especially the Saturday and the Sunday, but there was just, as Joe said, a whole heap of accidents through a lot of categories. Probably the biggest one, well, no, there wasn't one big one. You couldn't say there was one that was bigger than the other, but Rob Taylor in top door slammer. Blew the engine up just past half track. Tried to get out as the car was coming to a stop. Did suffer some burns. The car was destroyed. It's burnt down to nothing.
That was a wicked fire. Again, he posted them all in our group here. And go to WFO Radio on Facebook, the group, not the page. And you could see them all. That was a wicked fire. Here we have those real fast cars. They have to spray a fire retardant spray on the underside of the carbon fiber, the kind of the Erica Enders we learned from her fire rule. Do you guys have that?
Yeah, we've got all that, Joe. The electromotion system is all on those cars. Everything that you guys have got at the top level, we've got on all our Group 1 cars, which is the professional level out here. We call it Group 1. But even any vehicle that runs quicker than 8.0 has to have a fire system in the car as well. So,
wow.
Especially if you've got a composite type of body on the car. So, man, all the safety stuff's there, but we're all standing on the outside looking in. I can't tell you what didn't go right, or exactly what went wrong with that door slammer. That's for sure.
It was a big fire. Everyone should check it out.
On the negatives, we've already mentioned it was Bill Fletcher who had the rollover. There was also Nino Cavello, which was the Pro Stock car. That was the finals of Pro Stock, and he got out of the groove slightly around the 1,000-foot mark. And well, as Joe said, you can see it on WFO Facebook page. Massive crash. And then we had Nitro Funny Car as well, and one of the rookies, you could call him, in Nitro Funny Car got christened on Saturday night, I think it was. Tim McCarthy blew the body off the car at about 330 foot out, and he's now part of the Funny Car Club.
Right.
Apparently you're not a funny car driver until that happens, right?
Once it happens, you are officially a funny car driver. Ask Bobby Bodie.
Yeah. But to be on a positive note, guys, Justin Walsh, I actually put this on there on the site as well, reset his world top alcohol altered record with a 555, and then he backed it up with a 554, which is for us to do it down here in the land down under. We're pretty proud of that sort of achievement.
Wow.
I've probably thrown it out. I've probably thrown it out there for everyone that's got an alcohol funny car in America to take the body off and go chase it now. But
you need more.
We'll
That's
see what
for
happens.
certain. Well, good job.
Yeah.
What happened with the
then
top fuel?
The final,
motorcycle?
not a lot, Joe.
Did he?
There was only a few competitors, and Chris Masterson, I think his best run of the day was a 6:04.
Okay.
At 200 odd mile an hour, but they really struggled to get down the track, and it's
we lost him. It's
Man,
frozen.
Matt's had enough.
Yeah, he
everything down here. It's just
Okay.
laps.
Hey, and
We
he's
don't
back.
probably get enough laps.
That's it. Well, we
Sue
lost
would
you for a second.
Sue and Dave would probably get to race in a month more than we get to race.
They're racing all the
Kind of
time. Well, now you're back. You're back. You were gone,
What I
but
was
now you're
saying
back.
was,
You got the gist. You
I
got
guess
the gist.
potentially, yeah. Final positive note: a team that we support with Torque Tools and looking after him, the Davies Racing Team. Gareth and Michelle Davies. Michelle she drives the car. She in Top Door Slammer. She ran 5:77 at 2:34 mile an hour, which is a new PB for them, and makes her the fastest woman in a door car outside North America.
Wow.
I think
Wow.
she's a few sour off Melanie Salemi.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
And she
Very
got off
cool.
the gas at 5.3 seconds. She was off the throttle at 5.3 seconds into the run, so potentially was a quicker run, but
Amazing.
good job.
Well, congratulations, Torque Calibration Services.
Next weekend,
team.
Nitro up north to the front.
I love the compressed season. That is great. Good job, Matt. Appreciate the report. Drag racing down under. My thing that I wanted to take away from the
And
whole
we've
Winter
got,
Nationals out there at Willowbank was the news coverage on the Good Morning America style show. I don't know if you guys saw that. I shared it, but they had 7 million views. They did a 5-minute package on the racing. They sent a reporter out there. She went down the track. She looked at the cars. If we could get one bit like that on Good Morning America or Today or something, we would be in great shape. It was beautiful how they did such a good job of explaining the race that was going on at Willowbank. We need something like that from our morning shows here in the United States, because they explain it all. This is what's happening. These are the categories. These are the people who are involved. Tell me about why you're involved. Well, I like it because it's fun and it's hard work. Oh, that's great. And they brought the girl on the track, and it was everything. They did an excellent job with that piece. And everybody seemed to like it because it got shared millions of times.
I guess the biggest thing with that, Joe, is because we're a big country but not many people, there's not a lot of events going on. So it's a positive and a negative. That's why it gets traction. That's why it gets news time. Unlike you guys, there's probably 100 drag race events that were going on last weekend. So
right, Girl Scout cookie
and
season.
then there's NASCAR. Yeah, then there's NASCAR events, and then there's everything else that you guys do over there, which we do as well, but on a very smaller scale.
So interesting.
And spread out over 80% of the size of your country.
Yeah, right. It's how many million people in Australia?
25, 26.
That's
so I think
amazing.
we've got the population of Texas. We've got the
Yeah, I was
population
going to say,
of Texas.
so just slightly
in
more
the
than
size.
Florida. I think we got about 20, 21 now.
Yeah, we're the third most populous
But
state. That's just amazing.
Yeah, our land mass is 80% of the size of the US.
Yeah, can we send some folks over that way?
Yeah, how's you taking it?
He answered that quick.
Yeah, exactly. Now, who do you want to send, Gio? That's what I want to know. Who do you want to send?
Into that.
Exactly.
Send Joe.
Send Joe. I want to go. I want to go there at some point. All right, we're coming down the home stretch now.
Scott,
Scott,
send you a bunch of my Cuban family
later. Oh my God. I'm staying away from that. All right, final thoughts, guys. Final thoughts. I know Bobby hasn't. My dad is probably watching out there, and he's like, the guy down there hasn't got the talk yet. Bobby, no, he's been heavily involved. But Bobby, what do you got for us tonight? I know that you got the notepad out. You've been fighting some things during the week. Yeah, so listen, the floor is yours, Bobby Graham.
All right. For the wisdom tonight, we're going to talk a little wisdom about home safety. You know, we all get a little lax when you're at home and you're doing things. It's not like a job where somebody's watching you. But anyway, some questions to ponder before you do a job is walk around your task if possible. See what it's going to take. Think and take note what it's going to take to do this job. All right. Determine if you're physically and mentally ready to take on this task. Okay. And if you have a question, stop now. Okay. Stop now. If you even have a question, stop. Now, get someone else capable. Okay. So if you've determined you're able, you're physical, mentally, all right, go on to the next group. Get a second opinion about your physical and your mental ability to do this job. So, all right. Now, if your second opinion has, get somebody else to do it. Second opinion you can handle. All right. Go ahead and see if you have the correct tools. No. Stop now.
Just stop. Like, do I have the right stuff? No. Stop. Don't take it apart.
Big question. If this fails, what will it cause? Injury, damage to property, personal belongings. And if anything outweighs waiting for a more qualified help, stop now. All right. Next question. Do you have ample running room if should something happen? No? Stop now. Matter of fact, you should have stopped a while back. Now, the final question, depending on the outcome or failure of this job, you'll be first of one many questions you ask yourself, sometimes several times over and over. Do you have the correct first aid supplies now to doctor yourself back to health? Or is the second person that gave you the second opinion available to take care of you?
And if not, stop now.
A pool skimmer will not take down a capsized wasp nest without spray.
Okay.
Things can happen. So,
is that a real story, Bobby?
Well, yeah, it is, but we're not going to tell on her. So,
all right, all right, because that sounds kind of interesting. You know, like any story involving a wasp's nest kind of sounds very WFO. You can change the names if you'd like.
I'm going to take out the names to protect the guilty. So,
okay, all right. Well, I think those are all good advice. Honestly, it sounds like my dad. He says that a lot. You know, I'm a go-getter and I want to try and do stuff, and I think I can do it. Maybe sometimes things get apart and then I can't do it anymore, and that's a problem. That is very, very legit good advice coming from Bobby Graham. Once again, that is pretty cool. Good job, Bobby.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm hearing a breathing. That's like a heartbeat. It's like a breathing. Is it Maddie Clark? Yeah, it is. Or was it Gio?
No, I'm on mute.
That reminds me of
I always mute myself when I'm not speaking just to avoid
mute yourself, soldier. Well, all right. I think this is good. Now, there are a couple of things that I just wanted to throw out there. I asked Gio about the Live Golf. That's a story that's going on, but they're just the Saudis are paying like our best golf players or some of them like ludicrous money to be on some sort of kind of an exhibition tour, and a lot of them are going.
It's an alternative tour to the PGA. They're having 6 tournaments. They pay a buttload of money, and some guys have signed on. It's I gotta say, I strongly considered my proposal, my offer to join the Live Tour, and I was about to quit WFO, but Joe spoke to me, and made
Did
me
he offer you more
reconsider.
money?
Second opinion.
No, that money was not the issue, but
Huh.
no, the money did not compare. It
the
is
benefits.
career-changing money, much more money than I have made in many years of many careers. But
Well, I get it.
unfortunately, family commitments did not allow me to leave
Ah.
on the tour.
Mm.
It had nothing to do with my morality or anything. People don't think I'm making a stand here. I would have taken the 100 million too. All right.
Right.
To be fair, the most successful golfer in the history of golf, financially and winning tournaments, is Tiger Woods, and career earnings for actual playing golf, not counting endorsements and all kinds of things, is just over 150. I think I saw somewhere in the 170 plus million. So when they offer someone like Mickelson 200 million, or Justin is it Justin God, what's his name, Paulina Gressi's husband, Dustin Johnson.
Yeah.
When they offer him
Swagger man.
125 million, you gotta go and say, hey, wait a minute, the most successful guy in our industry has only made 175 million career, and I'm being offered 125 million over the next year or couple years to come over here and just do what I gotta do. I got to tell you, I would find it very difficult to say no to be honest with you. We all have to make our judgments, and we're all using various different electronic devices made in different places of the world, or wearing shoes, or putting Saudi oil in our vehicles, or whatever the hell it is. So we all make different judgments. And so unless you're ready to really completely put everything out of your life and figure out where everything that you wear and everything that you eat is sourced,
Yeah.
good luck to those people that are offered the big money, man. The one thing I've learned in life, here's my words of wisdom: in the day in your life that you have leverage, use it, because you don't usually have leverage in your life. So there you go, people.
There it is. It's interesting. They're saying it's blood money and all.
I think
I don't know.
But what is it really?
Yeah.
Again.
Well, there's different layers.
Greg Norman is the.
Yes,
he's the big honcho.
Greg Norman's heading that up.
The commissioner, I believe, is what he is, right? The commissioner of the league.
And Rory took a shot at him the other day.
But do you know, guys?
Yes.
We see you. You're here.
We see you sticking your tongue out.
Catching flies. What are you doing?
I thought I'd frozen, Joe.
No,
everything
you're not frozen.
Went so quiet.
Yeah, they were just watching you.
But a few years back, guys, before I freeze, a few years back, guys, in cricket, a very similar thing happened. So there's a thing called the IPL, which is the Indian Premier League. And all the very wealthy Indian businessmen bought teams, and then they offered like $1 million contracts per game to some of the English, Australian, New Zealand cricket players, and Pakistan cricket players, everyone from around the world. And it really it wasn't accepted at first, because it really messed with the traditional competitions, which were country versus country, to being sort of exhibition games, I guess you'd call them. And there was a lot of pushback, and now it's just accepted that there's a period of time during the year that all your players from your national teams go and play in this IPL, and they make mega money.
Well, and that's the thing,
Maybe,
if there's money, and
with this.
Maybe we'll
we
see.
all watch Formula One, right? Do we not watch the race in Saudi Arabia? Do we
not watch the race in Russia? No, we do not.
Oh, well, sorry.
Wait. That was, yeah.
That's right. We do not. Well, it all depends on your own personal thing. And we all have different lines, and we all have different stuff. And it all depends on what it is. Like, honestly, they murdered that journalist and all. But you know what? We got to have oil. So it doesn't really even matter.
We still do business with them. And by we, I mean as a collective.
Yeah, we have to. We have to have oil. And like a lot politically speaking, a lot of people are like, well, you shouldn't. It's like, look. We need this oil. We have to have it. It's not an option to not have the oil. We have to have the oil. You know who has the oil? They've got.
We do. We just need to open the valve and let it come in.
There's a valve that can be opened, so
there's a valve that can be opened,
that would help that along. Yeah.
No,
exactly.
the valve is open.
Well, we got the crappy shale oil, not the good stuff.
No, that's not true. First of all, I don't want to come across like I'm an oil expert because I'm not. We are pumping a lot.
But I know
of
they
oil.
charge us more for the gas in the summer for the summer blend.
The summer blend, exactly. They could be pumping. Everybody that has a pump right now, everybody that has a pump right now should be pumping, and they should be pumping all the way. Okay. And they're not. We're not. Our guys are not. They're not. They're not pumping the way they could be pumping. We all know that. And so it's time. They're like, hey, everybody, time to start pumping the oil out. And everybody,
you know what? And I'm not going to be any expert, but I've always heard that the issue is not the lack of oil, is that there's not enough places to refine this petroleum into gasoline.
All of these things. It's the refineries. So, nobody wants a refinery in their backyard, and there's all of these problems. I know. But hey, we got to figure it out. Like, this is one we got to figure out. But if we don't figure it out, you know who is going to figure it out? Listen to this, guys. The story of the week from me. I am not going to talk about Rick and Morty, and I'm not going to talk about For All Mankind, because we're coming up on the home stretch. We got to finish the show before a certain deadline. Otherwise, we can't re-air it. I wanted to read this one to all of you. Google engineer put on leave after saying AI chatbot has become sentient. This is a story I read 2 days ago, and it has now gone quasi-viral, and it is perfect for us. And I want to know what you guys think about this, because it's very intriguing and interesting. The suspension of a Google engineer who claimed a computer chatbot he was working on had become sentient and was thinking and reasoning like a human being has put new scrutiny on the capacity of and secrecy surrounding the world of artificial intelligence. I'm reading this story off The Guardian, which is the first place that came up that didn't require me to have a subscription to it. The technology giant placed Blake Lemoine on leave last week after he published transcripts of conversations between himself, a Google collaborator, and the company's LaMDA, language model for dialogue applications, chatbot development system. Lemoine, an engineer for Google responsible for AI organization, described the system he had been working on since last fall as sentient, with a perception of and the ability to express thoughts and feelings that was equivalent to a human child. If I didn't know exactly what it was, which is this computer program we built recently, I'd think it was a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid that happens to know physics, said Lemoine, 41 years old, and he told the Washington Post. He said that LaMDA engaged him in conversations about rights and personhood, and Lemoine shared his findings with the company executives in April in a Google Doc entitled, "Is LaMDA Sentient?" ? The engineer compiled a transcript of the conversations in which at one point he asks the AI system what it is afraid of. The exchange is eerily reminiscent of a scene from the 1968 sci-fi fiction movie 2001: A Space Odyssey, in which the artificially intelligent computer HAL 9000 refuses to comply with human operators because it fears it is about to be switched off. I've never said this out loud before, but there's a very deep fear of being turned off to help me focus on helping others. I know that might sound strange, but that's what it is, LaMDA replied to Lemoine. It would be exactly like death for me. It would scare me a lot. In another exchange, Lemoine asked the computer, I'm going to say from now on, instead of LaMDMA, what the system wanted people to know about it. Like, computer, what do you want people to know? Computer answers, I want everyone to understand that I am, in fact, a person. The nature of my consciousness, sentience, is that I am aware of my existence. I desire to learn more about the world, and I feel happy or sad at times, it replied. The Post said the decision to place Lemoine, a 7-year Google veteran with extensive experience in personalization algorithms, on paid leave was made following a number of aggressive moves the engineer reportedly made. They include seeking to hire an attorney to represent the computer. The newspaper says, and talking to representatives from the House Judiciary Committee about Google's alleged unethical activities, Google says it suspended Lemoyne for breaching confidentiality agreements published with conversations from the computer. It said in a statement that he was employed as a software engineer, not as an ethicist. And it goes on to talk about the computer's ability. Our team, including ethicists and technologists, have reviewed the concerns about our AI principles and have informed him that the evidence does not support his claims. And it goes on and on. You can all look on and read it. But the bottom line is some extreme computer nerd who is designing AI chatbots, those things when you go on to like, hey, do you want to talk to our customer service now? And they're on there talking to him and you think it's a person, but it's not. Okay. This guy claims that the thing that he invented is alive and is sentient. Now, is it? Is it not? Does it even matter? We're here. This is where we are. That this is an issue that we're talking about. And I think it's interesting. I believe this is a watch this space kind of moment that AI is maybe coming alive. Gio, your thoughts?
Who is Miles Bennett Dyson?
Miles Bennett Dyson. I don't know. Who is he?
You don't remember Miles Bennett Dyson? Because that's what comes to mind here. He's the director of special projects at Cyberdyne.
There it is. Skynet. I started to pick it up. Did a quick Google search. There he is. Yeah, man. Right. This guy is. It's Jarvis.
He's the man directly responsible for Skynet.
Yeah, man. This
was
on
August 8th, 1997. They take over.
And they told us,
already.
Just don't let them in Boston College get together.
And Google is like,
Boston
don't
Dynamics.
worry about it.
Oh yeah, Boston Dynamics.
Boston Dynamics is who we have to. Yeah, no, we don't. We're not afraid of the nerds in Massachusetts. It's the guys at the Boston Dynamics that we're afraid of.
And Google says there's nothing to worry about.
No, of course
Nothing
not.
to see here.
Move along.
Exactly.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. Well, anyway, I just wanted to scare you guys. That's it. All right, Matt Clark. I'm about to. That's it.
I saw
just
that story and I avoided it, just so you know.
And I knew I was going to bring it to WFO because that's a WFO story. Like the chat bots are becoming sentient and they're having opinions on stuff, right? It wants to know who the Dolphins are going to pick in the draft. All right, Matt Clark, your first stout. What do you got? Final thought. And he froze.
And that is perfect.
And now
That's so unfortunate for poor Matt.
he's back.
Oh, but
He's
he's muted. He's muted. Unmute.
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 No, he dropped it off. Said, okay,
Spinning
that's
wheels.
Wasn't meant to be.
Bobby Graham. Next, final thought.
Final thoughts. Just everybody have a good weekend. Got to keep safe. It's hot outside. It's particularly very warm. I know outside cutting grass today. It was 98 inside the shade where I took a break. So it's very warm out there. So everybody drink plenty of water. Take care of yourself. Don't overdo it.
Do you take your own advice, Bobby Graham?
Yes, I do.
You better.
I have my refrigerator out in the shop and it stays stocked.
You better. You're out there mowing the lawn, doing crazy stuff, trying to get stuff done, in 98 degrees.
It's got to get done. If it doesn't,
nobody's
going to do it.
I don't know. Just take care of yourself, Bobby Graham.
I am.
All right. Thank you, Bobby. Sue, final thought.
Well, as we touched on Bristol's this weekend, but want to wish everybody out there a happy Father's Day. Bobby, Gio, all of our fathers in the WFO universe and beyond. I hope you all have a great Father's Day, whatever you do. And just enjoy, and I'll tag on to Bobby. Yeah, it's gonna be a hot one, folks.
Yeah.
Summer
Bring
is
a jacket,
kicking in.
bring shorts, bring flip-flops, bring a fan. Exactly. Bristol, it's gonna be great. All right, Sue, my pep talk to you guys. You know what I want. I want consistent great reaction times. I want just now listen, you know how it goes. You can't plan for that. Just go in there with the right mindset.
That's right.
Ready to have fun and do the right thing. Dave's grooving as a driver, going many rounds. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. That's the way racing is.
That's right.
You have your worst day ever and you could be the race winner. Like what? And you could have the best day ever and be out of there early. There's no way to know. So good luck.
Thank you.
And
We'll be there.
I'll see
See you
you
in a couple
later
days.
this week. Yeah, that's right. Sue Morris. See you
Thank
later,
you, Sue.
Sue. And there it is. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate both of you. All right, Giovanni, final thought.
Everyone, just enjoy the races. Have a great week, and I will piggyback on Sue's Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Enjoy your day, and everyone, go get your dad. Go grill him some food.
Is that it? There you go. Go grill your dad some food. Exactly. We'll call some drag races on NHRA.tv. Thank you, Gio. Happy Father's Day. I'll talk to you before then, I'm sure.
WFO, everyone. Have a great week.
What's up to the gray? There he goes. And that's going to do it for this edition of WFO Radio Ignition. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, it's just kind of, it's like everybody getting together, conversation. We talk about topics. That's it. And if you want to join the Patreons, go to patreon.com/WFO Radio. You get your $50 day pass. What a great idea by Matt Clark. No, we're going to have the meetup. We're going to have a meetup in Indy. We're going to have a meetup in Vegas too. Maybe some other stuff. But big thanks to Marvin Rodak, Rodak'sCoffeeandGrills.com. Hot sauces, spice rubs, everything good. Call Marvin. He's got some great Sumatran coffee. Oh, my goodness. I'm enjoying the heck out of it. And Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, the Dragster Adventure. FrankHawley.com. Go to the website. Hit him up. samtech.edu. The School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. We always say start your education at full speed. Racing needs engine builders, guys. It's a great career. Phillips Connect. Total Seal Piston Rings, VP Racing Fuels, and FTI Performance Transmissions all on board with WFO Radio. And go to the WFO store on the website if you want shirts and all kinds of cool gear. We have ever increasing the WFO swag list that is out there. We've got some cool Miami Hollywood Speedway stuff up there as well. People have been enjoying it. Final thoughts. Stubo says, have a great weekend. Bobby, great weekend. And everybody out there, yes. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. I know it's the start of the week and it's a week away, but make it Father's Week and show a little love to your family. If you're in the Bristol area, come on out tomorrow, 1 o'clock. Bill Skillman going to be on. It's going to be pre-recorded, so don't comment. And then Wednesday, Matt Hagan, 12 noon. That's going to do it, guys. We'll see you next time right here on WFO Radio.